Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, where everything that you see is generated by us, the company. You are all being worked. We want you to think that this is the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet, because, brother, it's all part of the show. And I hope that you're enjoying the show. Sancho, how are you?
Triple H is so funny. He's oh, well, do you like the show? Well, it's all part of the show.
Why'd you turn Triple H into AJ Styles?
I don't know. AJ's boy. Hi. Every time AJ loves telling people, you ever been to Japan? So someone said, like, hey, Chad, you ever been to Mexico?
Oh, man. Dude, what a wild week in wrestling. It felt like we went from us trying to put together episodes out of nothing because not much was going on to all of a sudden just boom, an episode where there is just so much to talk about just in the span of like 5 days. I feel like WWE has been turned upside down. We've got Jey Uso losing the world title. Ron Killing's back in the WWE. We got Bayley back. LA Knight maybe becoming a main eventer on Monday Night Raw, and so much more that we're going to be talking about here on the Wrestling is Cool podcast, coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. You can, of course, be getting this episode 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet over on patreon.com/SantiZab, where you're going to get the Raw reviews, the SmackDown reviews, and a whole host of watch-alongs. Sancho's now doing, go ahead, tell the people.
Okay, I just wrapped up the Royal Rumble in review, watched all of them. They're all there in the collection. I ranked them all. But definitive. I think I did a great job, honestly, like a great job. Like if you look at the numbers in terms of how I ranked them, I feel good. But you know what? People were like saying, oh, Sancho, you should do all the elimination chambers, do Money in the Bank, rank those. And I said, this is Wrestling is Cool, baby. We do dumb stuff, all right? So, folks, if you want to join me on this great journey of Ryback in review, more. We're gonna answer the question: is Ryback was legit over? Like, was it like what is Ryback? You know what I mean? It's probably an interesting case. And I'm gonna study it. Would you join me? I think you should.
No, I'm good. I experienced Ryback in real life. This one's a you project, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a you project. You can be getting the new Ryback in review. The currently ongoing John Cena, the 17 World Championship victory watch along party that we're doing as well. We're also adding all of his losses. Yeah, very different. Very different. All on Patreon. For $5, you get all the content that we do. Come check it out. Please do so. We'd love to have you in the community. But Sancho, I think we should really just be jumping into things. The most important thing that we need to talk about, Sancho,
is LA Knight on Monday Night Raw, baby. Woo! You think LA Knight is done? You thought the Glaze Factory closed? I saw that Spirit Halloween trunk riding around the corner, ready to put up their dumb signs telling me how the wigs half off. Nah, not happening today, sir. Because you think just because LA Knight gets 3 hope spots in a row at Money in the Bank, just because LA Knight went up, got a BFT countered into a curb stomp, nah. You think he's dead? You think he's gone? You think he's buried? 4 letters, 1 word. Yeah, don't think so. Because guess who's on Monday Night Raw? In fact, they end up getting and mixing it up with Seth Rollins, baby, in the Vision. It's the one and only L.A. Knight. And didn't he look good on Monday Night Raw? Didn't it feel right? Didn't you get that wash over vibe? And down goes our retention, Santi. YouTube ejected. Everybody's out the door.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows that Sancho is doing this after making an 8-minute video crying, whining about LA Knight on his YouTube channel. Do you think that LA Knight is on Raw? Because I think that's like the move. I don't think he has anything left to do on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't think that we need to wait for a draft. Just move this guy over. And with the fact that we now have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Gunther, in my opinion, I think LA Knight might make a good opponent for for Gunther, like in terms of being polar opposite types of characters. I wouldn't mind seeing that, honestly. It'd be kind of funny for Gunther to have to go from yeet to yeah. But I feel like it's just the better choice for him. He's done already everything that needs to be done in the mid-card picture on Friday Night SmackDown. He's already spent his time in the Bloodline vortex. He can't really go up against Cena because Cena's a part-timer, so we would just have LA Knight hanging around waiting for Cena to show up, and I just don't think that that's the best thing to do with him today. I think the best course of action is what they ended up doing. I think the best course of action would have been giving him the briefcase, but I think sans that, the best course of action for LA Knight is moving him to Monday Night Raw, feuding with Seth Rollins, maybe with Gunther. It's just a breath of fresh air, and I'm excited to see LA Knight against all of these different characters that he hasn't been interacting with since his last couple of years on Friday Night SmackDown, because it's been a hot minute since he's been on Monday Night Raw, man.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Santi. I worked you into believing this. You know what I'm saying?
I've been worked. Everything's a work, man.
You've been worked, brother. You've been worked. You can just. I gave Santi a rundown of the show, and I put the LA Knight thing at the bottom.
And somehow you managed to kill the YouTube retention by moving it to the top. Yes. That's great. This is great for all of us. This is fantastic. Yes. Did you think LA Knight was going to win the Money in the Bank?
No,
yeah,
no, I didn't. I mean, we didn't predict it. The problem is like for LA Knight is just, popular at the wrong time, man. There's too many big players at play, too many bigger sharks at play. You could think of so many times in wrestling when there was a wrestler who was so popular, but there was just bigger things at play, Mr. Kennedy, which is why a lot of people think LA Knight and Mr. Kennedy are the same. But you look at, and I said this in the video on my Sanchowest Wrestling, like DDP came along at a time where he was needed. They needed somebody to kind of fill that void of that babyface. They had Sting, who at WCW was just quiet, but they didn't have someone who was big and bravado that could go up against a Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. And to have DDP be one of the only ones to like go up to Goldberg and put up a big fight, that was huge for that day. So fortunately, LA Knight, dude, just the wrong time, man. Just the wrong time to come up and be popular. But now, Monday Night Raw, hey, sky's the ceiling. But you were saying something before, like what was the most important story that everybody was talking about?
It's definitely not LA Knight. All right. It is not LA Knight. It is
Mr. Iguana, baby.
God damn it. You took my fucking thunder. I hate you. That was going to be my bit. That was going to be my joke. Yes, it's Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana is the greatest thing right now in professional wrestling. Sancho, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This weekend, the thing that got the most attention on all of my social media pages was Mr. Iguana. Mr. Iguana is properly over. I bought a shirt. And apparently, they were so shocked with the love and pops that Mr. Iguana was getting in Worlds Collide that apparently that appearance at Money in the Bank was last minute. They're just like, hey, throw the Iguana dude in there. See what kind of reaction he gets. They show Mr. Iguana on the screen, giant pop in that arena, to the point where like they're showing Mr. Iguana on Monday Night Raw. Have you seen the clip of me reacting to the Mr. Iguana clip on Monday Night Raw? No, I don't know how it happened, but right before it, I was like, man, I bought a Mr. Iguana shirt, and if the second that they put an iguana, like a stuffed iguana on the WWE shop, I'm buying it. Instantly, Mr. Iguana on my screen. He's the new Joe Hendry, man. Forget bleached blonde hair Joe Hendry. That's average Joe, as Trick Williams said. I'm done. Woody dropping the toy. I've got my new Buzz Lightyear. It's Mr. Iguana. Give him everything. Give him everything that he deserves. La Yesca, like that La Yesca is more over than Karrion Kross. I'm saying it. I'm saying it right now. La Yesca is the next big thing.
I'm shocked that Dominic Mysterio took the easy way out going against Octagon Jr. Like,
I know. Pathetic. Pathetic. I was embarrassed to be a Dom fan at that moment. Like, come on. Like, step up to the streets, Dom. Go after the Iguana dude. That's the guy we wanted.
Someone in my chat called him green dust. And I was like, no, this dude's special. This dude's magical. What I love about it is that it does remind me of like theater work, dude, mask work, because that's what luchadors are. But this dude is so perfect with the craft, with the iguana stuffed animal and things like that, that you believe that Yesca's real. Like that is what's cool about that whole Worlds Collide, which we'll get into, is that they were able to show the world another side of wrestling of people who perfected their craft. And I'm just hoping that the WWE doesn't do what they always do and they just overexploit him in any kind of way in terms of showing him too much. But right now we want it. We want to be stuffed down the gills with Mr. Iguana. And the thought that him being on NXT, amazing. What?
Nothing.
I'm just surprised.
Not all of us want to be stuffed.
I look, Triple H definitely wanted to put over Octagon Jr., right?
Yeah.
That's why they put him at Money in the Bank. And lo and behold, the surprise thing that Triple H didn't think would happen happened. And I'm happy that they're rolling with the punches. I think it's because to them, they kind of see it as it's low effort. We don't have big storylines happening with the AAA guys right now. The fans seem to love it. Let's put Mr. Iguana. He could appear on NXT and cause havoc. I'm just impressed with the in-ring more than anything. The in-ring was what attracts me the most. All the Iguana stuff was cool. Lince Dorado deserves. I like how he said it. He put it on X like, hey, if he gets signed, I deserve 25% of the contract. It's like, it's kind of true. Without Dorado.
Lince Dorado commented on my posts. He commented, no real iguanas were hurt in the making of this wrestling match. I was like, this is good.
The Spanish fly spot, amazing. But good. Mr. Iguana, my favorite moment is when he was doing the kind of the tilt-a-whirl thing. Yeah. And he was just like, had his hands to his thing, and he was just like
with the iguana in his mouth.
Yeah, he fights like Luigi, dude. That's in my mind. He fights like Luigi.
Hear that.
I love it.
I hear that. It almost feels like he's I don't know if this is gonna land with what I'm about to compare it to. It feels like he's the luchador. He's using the luchador style, drunk fist style, where like I can't really, I can't fully understand where his body movements are going, but then he does some crazy stuff because he looks at times like he's stiff, but then he moves so fluidly at the same time. Bro, how funny was it when he got chopped and he went down on his back and he stiffened up like an iguana? I love Mr. Iguana, man.
Shouts to everybody in the ring, though. I mean, if they don't believe in it, we don't believe in it.
Hey, Sancho, you know that you can't say Mr. Iguana without mystery. Mr. Iguana, maybe the mystery entry into the King of the Ring tournament. They're already teasing him on Raw.
How dare you? Poor Karrion Kross goes to the back of the line again.
Dude, I'm sorry, Karrion. Woody, I'm done with you. It's about Mr. Iguana. Evolution is a Mr. Iguana.
Karrion's not even Woody, bro. He's the broken penguin on top of the shelf with his broken squeaker, dude.
Yeah. Oh, man. We could talk about Karrion Kross later, but man, Mr. Iguana was maybe my favorite thing from Worlds Collide, not named Vikingo versus Chad Gable. I said this in my conversations that is the best WWE match produced all year. I want to get your thoughts on it. I thought that was incredible. I thought that match was so damn good, so well produced, so well paced. A combination of like really like great technical wrestling from Chad, but then Chad really meeting Vikingo with the high flying luchador stuff, and then Vikingo just like demonstrating to the world like how much levels above he is many luchadors in the space right now. We talked about how Worlds Collide didn't feel like two worlds colliding in terms of wrestling styles. This did, but I just thought it was so cool that it was like a clashing, a worlds colliding of styles, but they also like blended it together. And we got a nice like Neapolitan ice cream of two styles of professional wrestling. And I genuinely think, story aside, because when you start interjecting conversations about story, you got to talk about that triple threat at WrestleMania from Punk, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk as maybe the best thing WWE has produced all year. Women's triple threat, Obafemi versus Trick Williams and Javon Evans was fantastic. But just like remove the theatrics, remove the glitz and glamour of wrestling, and just look at the stunt people that are in the ring. I feel like the in-ring work of Chad Gable versus Hijo El Vikingo, or as Byron Saxon said, Hingo del Vikingo, I think that's the best produced match of the year.
Shut up, Saxton. One thing we didn't really talk about is the WWE's production. For those of you who don't know, on our Patreon, we have Match Club. Match Club, we watch all promotions, different productions, wrestlers throughout the different productions as well, different kind of promotions, right? And Vikingo is one of them, right? We've seen so many, maybe 3 AAA and one couple of AAA and 1 AEW. And we didn't really talk about how WWE's production is going to be able to highlight each of these guys really well, these luchadors and luchadores. And it's a proven fact. Look how Mr. Iguana has gotten over with the vignettes and the production quality of him, right? He came out and he's like the first person coming out and it sets the tone for the PLE, like, ooh, this is a different world. Vikingo is the same thing. He was produced in such a way that it allowed us to see who he was. They throttled him down just a little bit, right? They pulled the pacing down. So like when he hits a hard-hitting luchador move, it's impacted, boom, and we could all revel in it. We could see a replay package of it. If you watch a AAA, a AAA, I love them, right? I love Mexican luchador wrestling, but it's like zoom in, zoom out, show the logo, show the advertising, show this guy. You can't hear the sound. The commentary is loud. You can't hear anything. It is all over the place and it's chaotic, which Mexican fans are used to. But you lose the special moments that Vikingo could produce. And with AEW, they did the same thing as well in terms of they were able to capture some of the awesomeness of it, but he would move to the next move a little bit too fast. And so you had all these moments jam-packed into one, like, what was it, Kenny Omega versus Vikingo? The only thing I remember from that match, because everything was so jam-packed, was that close encounter where he's 630 off to the table and barely nicked his head on the apron. Whereas this match, dude, you have the big spots of that one move he did on the second rope and he just floated over and landed on Chad. That was sick. The 630 to the outside. Like there's so many crazy things that he did and Chad was able to meet them. I thought that was definitely my match of the year contender. I think you nailed it with the clashing of styles, but I think the most important thing was they throttled him down just a hair for us to really absorb and to really relish what happened in front of our eyes. And I think that's the difference between some of the wrestling styles is the WWE knows how to produce and make a star instantly, almost really quickly. You know what I mean? But Vikingos, I know a lot of people are talking about there's minimal story. I was like, no, there is a story. Is that it's a strange story, right? Chad Gable can't beat luchadors. Chad Gable goes to Mexico, learns the art, allegedly becomes Grande Americano. Then Vikingo is there and he's protecting this art of lucha. And we've seen Vikingo multiple times in Chad cross swords, and Mania was one of those instances. But I thought it was a really good thing. And my favorite part of that thing was when Chad Gable goes, he's just a luchador. He's just a luchador. He's such a luchador, right? It's such a fun little moment. But I thought it was cool, man. And the moment when Vikingo was in the ankle lock, I was like, oh my God, it's over, right? It's kind of locked in. But I'm happy the way that whole night went. And I know we could go match to match on that, but Worlds Collide took a lot of the hype for me away from Money in the Bank. Because I was like, dude, if WWE could produce this crazy of a show where I'm in the dark about stories or I don't know the other luchadors and luchadores so that I could be surprised, then I was like, Money in the Bank felt so formulaic, right? It felt by the book. And I was like, it took me a while to get into it. And it took a while for everyone to get across 20, like a parking lot. I tried to tell you in my tweet, LA is not easy to get around, dude. And it is a pain to get around that area because there's 3 venues, not great big like roads, and not good. Not good. But hey, great event.
Yeah, just a great Saturday in general between Saturday night. Between Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank. But I hope that they do more of this. I'm personally excited about the prospect of maybe El Grande Americano or Dominic Mysterio appearing in Triple Mania at the end of August. With
the 6-sided ring? Hell yeah.
With the 6-sided ring. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's La Hiedra and Mr. Iguana that are mixed tag champions. Maybe Liv and Dom go after those mixed tag titles at Triple Mania. Come on, that'd be hype. Come on, that'd be hype. That'd be hype.
I mean, that's what's great about this partnership being that it's all within the umbrella of the WWE. If AAA does well, WWE or TKO and Endeavor does well. So it's in their benefit for that to get that cycle. I'm still confused about TNA and WWE, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How does TNA benefit, sir? That's what I want to know.
I will say, I think it was a brilliant move to put this for free on YouTube. I honestly think that they should do as many of those free YouTube events as they possibly can to spread the word of some of like their smaller brands. I think it was just so smart to do that. They had like 500,000 concurrent viewers, which is just insane for live streaming. Just a crazy
total?
number.
And ad free, really, right? There was not that many ads.
No, I mean, like, there were like WWE ads for like WWE Shop and stuff and whatever sponsors they had, but that's it.
The cool vignettes telling the story of the AAA and things like that. And Conan was cool.
I did not like Conan. I did not, bro.
As a commentator, he reminded me of a Vampiro a lot.
No, dude, he was so no, dude. He became a meme because we realized how bad he was, because he would say something like, "Just so you know, this is a fatal 4-way. It means that there's 4 guys in the ring." Thanks, Conan.
It wasn't that bad. It was.
Yes,
more
it was. Yes, it was.
That Conan didn't know like the timing of WWE production, because they're like, "Can I tell you a quick story?" And you could see Corey trying to wrap up the match. He's like, he's like, "That's great, Conan. I know, but let me go ahead.
Let's put a pin on that, Conan."
Put a pin on that, Conan. Conan. We gotta go ahead and move it. Yeah, but I think it added to the gravitas of the thing, and he was able to tell some good stories. He's just not used to the again. When you get 2 commentators that have never worked together, there's going to be a lot of bad handoffs, bad pickups, bad layouts, things like that. But I thought Corey Graves did a great job. I've been in a show where Corey did a great job carrying that, and it's I thought overall, like, it reminded me of Sunday football. You know, that opening banger of a match or a football game at the morning, and then you get a great afternoon, or in this case, a nightcap with the NBC Sunday night football. It was pretty fun, man. I liked it. It's what wrestling fans should have.
We were making memes and jokes about like how Conan would react in like different like scenarios in TV shows, and we said, and somebody said, like, if Conan was like a detective that discovered a body.
Are you saying Conan or Conan? It's Conan.
I'm saying Conan.
You're saying Conan, like
whatever. It's Conan.
Yeah, but you put in my head the talk show host.
The giant redheaded dude.
Yeah, that's when you say Conan. It's Conan.
Okay, do you really want me to like really emphasize the nan?
It's like Jacob Fat dude.
Conan, you know, like it's the same thing. Sorry that you're thinking Conan O'Brien, the 6'5" ginger talk host.
I'm surprised he wasn't ever involved in WWE in the past.
Apparently, he's the one isn't he the one that came up with one of the Rock's catchphrases? There's a story that he came up with, that he was one of the inspirations to one of the Rock's catchphrases. You can look this up. Conan was talking about it. But yeah, we were talking about like how like Conan would be in like a detective, and he finds a body. He's just like, hey, so we did find a body, and I just want to clarify that the body has no life. That's the type of thing that Conan was saying on commentary, man. He was not good. Apparently the party was in the Spanish commentary table, because apparently they were having a blast over there. I should have watched it in Spanish.
So the story is that Conan had writers that he would tell, like, just drink some shut up juice, and one of those writers gave that line to The Rock.
There you go. Shut up juice. Shut up juice. All right, well, let's move on here from Worlds Collide, and let's talk about the other massive stuff that happened. Let's start with Jey Uso. Jey Uso losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Gunther, getting slept by Gunther as well on Monday Night Raw in a clean match. Clean in the sense that there was no shenanigans or anyone interfering, no Money in the Bank, burn it down, music playing or anything like that, but also protected in the sense that they really played up the fact that Jey Uso was going into this match beaten and battered because he was a good man that would step up to help his friends. He helped CM Punk. He helped Cody Rhodes. And in all of this, he got himself way too beat up and not ready to face Gunther. And Gunther took advantage of that, worked the Reebs the entire match, and is now our new World Heavyweight Champion once again, becoming the first ever 2-time World Heavyweight Champion of this particular lineage of the championship belt. And I think we both have plenty of thoughts on this. I think for me, my first thought is just shock. I really didn't think that they were going to take the title off of Jey Uso. The first thing that I thought was like, maybe Jey Uso is actually injured and is going to be taking some time off. And that's why they were playing the injury angle as much as they did. My Reebs. Because listen, like, I thought that Jay's reign was actually good. Like, legitimately. I thought that the matches so far that he had in the short amount of time were good, entertaining. And I look at Gunther, and as much as I'm a fan of Gunther, it's not as if his championship reign was so good that it's like, oh, we need to pivot back to Gunther. because I didn't think that Gunther's reign was very good, and Jay's was actually like pretty decent, and it was starting to pick up some steam. So I was shocked that they decided to go back to Gunther. I think we're going to see Jey Uso taking some time off here. I want to get your thoughts on Jey Uso no longer being our world heavyweight champion, sir, after only 51 days as champion, too.
Was it 51 days or 70?
It might be. I got that from the chat, and I can confirm. How long ago was WrestleMania?
While you look that up, Detective Santi, I think this is still a case on how, and I don't want to
51
use
days.
words. Oh, was it 51? Okay. Triple H is so strange with his baby faces. If he is hurt and you want to protect him, then you can have him give up the title. And I know people say like he's a fighting champion, but it kind of hurts Jey Uso's stock how he went out. And I made a video about this, explain this a little deeper. Jey Uso's one up, and there's one kind of bastion that he was holding on to, is that he made Gunther tap. And that's a huge accomplishment in his world, in the world of WWE. But when you give Gunther his back or run back and give Gunther that he made Jey Uso sleep, then you erase this idea that Gunther, he got tapped out by Jey Uso. It's gone. It's as if Triple H is protecting Gunther to give Gunther back more power and sacrificing all the kind of power that we were building with Jey Uso, winning the Royal Rumble, winning at Mania, getting this hype and building up this celebrity and building up this like ultra vanilla, like good vibes babyface, when hanging out with the kids, doing the Yeet movement, getting the entire audience with a big pop, right? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, why have him go to sleep with Gunther? Are they trying to make him like a Stone Cold, where Stone Cold just passed out? But it's different because it's the headlock submission. And I know you'd be like, well, Sancho, it's just a detail. It doesn't matter. He was injured going into it, but the details matter, man. Imagine if it was more of Gunther just hurting his ribs with that Boston Crab finish he has. That's a different, right? Then it could echo back to Stone Cold and Bret Hart with a sharpshooter. Then you could go, man, Jey Uso's so tough, he didn't tap out. And another thing is like Triple H had so many opportunities to protect Jey and other pieces that he could have used to protect Jey, but he didn't. The Seth Rollins you talked about, the music and the briefcase, just the idea of Seth Rollins threatening to cash in to distract him is a great way just to protect Jey Uso for a second. The other option was his son. His son's out there. We have so many great examples of family being used as a way to like, no, you need to stop what you're doing. You need to protect yourself, protect your health. I love you, Dad. You cannot let Gunther destroy you. You've already proven that you're a champion. You're a champion in my eyes. And Santi, if you would have gone down that route, and maybe Jey didn't want his son involved in the program, maybe he didn't want him to turn into a Dominic Mysterio, who would turn on him later, 20 years. If you could use that avenue, you uncover the greatest asset that Jey Uso has: the drama, the familiar drama of family, and this idea that he's like on the edge of losing it all and he's emotional. Like that stuff from the Thunderdome, I will always hold on to and bring up as much times, because people rarely talk about how great Jey Uso was in the Thunderdome with Roman Reigns, and that helped build the character, and how evil Roman Reigns is that he's willing to go to do everything to become the champion and even tear his family apart for it. We don't get that without Jey Uso's performance. And they could have had that here, man. And instead, we get all the emotion and all the sadness and the idea of losing post in a video that I have to see from someone's camera of Jey Uso be like, man, I did my best. And it's probably going to be this best promo that will never air. But I don't know, man. There's so many opportunities that they could continue the stock of Jey Uso. But for me, it's like I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart, and it's like a blue shell, dude, out of nowhere, hitting Jey Uso, and which is fine. This is what Wrestling Monday Night should be. Any given Monday, a champion could lose, but it's more about the details do matter on how your champion loses. And I still think that Triple H has a strange way of booking and protecting baby faces, and he cares more about giving strength back to the heel than protecting his baby face.
Something else that we haven't really touched on is how this all of a sudden really changes the dynamic of the Money in the Bank victory for Seth Rollins. I was a defender of the Seth Rollins decision, even though I wanted LA Knight to win. I was defending it because my logic in my head, I said that Seth Rollins winning was the only winner that was a threat to both world champions. Both Jey Uso and John Cena had to pay attention because Seth Rollins' motivations, even if Cena's a big bad heel and he's also a big bad heel, he's trying to save wrestling, right? He's trying to create the future of wrestling, and Cena's trying to take it away. That path leads towards Cena in a way. Right. And then we already had the history with him and Jey Uso. He could have been going after Jey Uso. So the briefcase became a plot device that threatened both champions. With Gunther winning the World Heavyweight Championship, I think we lose that. And I think that WWE knew we were going to lose that, which is why they had Seth Rollins kind of tease in the conversation between CM Punk and John Cena. They're like, hey, whoever wins between you two, I got the briefcase right here. He holding it up like a Legend of Zelda item, like da 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 da.
Oh, he's dressed in all green too.
It is. So I think it kind of sucks from that regard. Now I really wish that they gave the briefcase to LA Knight at this point, because Gunther running around with the World Heavyweight Championship would make LA Knight such a threat with that briefcase at the moment. So there's that regard where I found it to be a little bit of an odd decision. But again, I hearken back to the fact that Gunther's championship reign just wasn't very good. It wasn't very good to the point where it seems odd to me that WWE would want to pivot right back to that as quickly as they did. I think that Gunther's reign, basically the best of it was the first month where he feuded with Randy Orton at Bash in Berlin, because after that, he just turned into Shy Gunther, as we called him here. Like, I don't know if I can do this against Damian Priest in a program that fell really flat. And then after that, there was no program. It was just the Jey Uso stuff going into WrestleMania. Is it crazy for me to suggest that maybe Logan Paul would have been a better next heel champion than Gunther at the moment? I know that people hate Logan Paul, like from the outside of wrestling stuff, and people hate him in wrestling in general as well. But like, based on what I saw at Money in the Bank, what I've been seeing recently from Logan Paul, how well the Logan Paul championship victory would have aligned with the John Cena narrative that's going on right now, I almost feel like a more disgusting heel victory would have been Logan Paul than Gunther. Am I asinine in saying that? Am I bananas? Am I a lunatic fringe?
No, I mean, I think it's more of like, it's like you remind me of when I feed my kids something and
feed me more.
and like, I offered you something, you said no, and then I offered you something that you don't like, and then you wish you could go back to my first offer. Does that make sense? Like, you were offered Logan, and that didn't happen to you, and now you're back with Gunther. You're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. I feel that it's because Gunther has hit a one note, and I have a lot of people, promo wise, are tired of Gunther just talking about his championship. You know, he is a sweat. He is a legit pro wrestler sweat. Like, is there anything else you want to talk about, Gunther? Do you like frozen yogurt? Maybe. Do you enjoy? He's like, no, I am a champion, and yogurt is for non-champions. That's what makes you weak. Like, wait, brother, I'm just
talking about yogurt.
Talking about small talk here, brother. And I think that's gets everyone like a bad taste in their mouth. That we're gonna have another program where even if it's LA Knight, LA. What's LA Knight's real name? Sean, I think.
I don't know, dude. He's LA Knight.
LA Knight's real name? I think it's because he always calls him it's Sean. I knew I was right. Sean, you're not on my level. You're like, okay, Gunther, come on, dude. Like, how many people? Who's the innocent on your level, right?
Gunther's a 10th prestige. That's what it is, man. Gunther's 10th prestige.
Oh God, look at my camos. Like, I don't care.
Do you have your diamond sniper rifles, LA Knight? Look at my diamond riot shield. You don't earn this by being bad. You earn this by loving the sport of Call of Duty.
I prestige day one. I don't know why he turned into Jesse. But yeah.
Make it make sense.
I just feel like Gunther sometimes, and he's a heel, so if he sucks the fun out of wrestling, that's what heels do, sure. But I do think like maybe he could suck in another way.
Okay. What kind of ways do you want Gunther to suck off the fun of wrestling?
I feel that his finishes are all the same, right? But they're all a variety of the same one, right? He just gets the spam finish. I think he doesn't interfere in a lot of matches because that ruins his because he's so vanilla about projecting the purity of wrestling. I think he was I think he was getting really somewhere when he becomes like an elitist. And I think he needs to be elitist about everything, right? Not just wrestling. Let me see how elite he can be about food, about wearing cologne, that kind of vibe, right? The turtleneck. I think like they were approaching that with Damian Priest when he was like, "You're a street trash," and they kind of let they went off of sidetrack for that. And then when they went back with Randy, he came back to his, "You're not on my level, and you wasted your opportunities." And Randy was like, "What do you mean? I got a smoking hot wife, and
14 world champions. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?" And so he went back to, "Jay, you're not on my level. You're not worthy of a champion." You're like, all right. And then he just needs to find something different. And I just want him to be an elitist. I want him to come out with a Bugatti and like really, really feel like he's like I've said so many times, a European soccer star, man. Like that guy in what is it? Oh no, what's that guy in Ted Lasso? The one that they're like their top prime star.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah, no, the other guy, the guy with the ponytail, and he's like tall, and he's like the Messi in the world. And he's
I only watched season 1, so
my God, son, you need to go back, brother. Dude, that's a great show.
I know it's a great show. I just never got back to it. Okay, fine. I'll get back to Ted Lasso.
Yes, I thought you would be like a Ted Lasso savant, you know what I mean? Instead, you're just sitting there pining for Game of Thrones like a bum.
George R.R. Martin, another week of not writing a single page. You absolute buffoon, you fraud. What are you working on? What is your legacy going to be? What are you even leaving behind? What are you going to leave behind, an unfinished product? We know that you're just counting down the days. We know that you're just counting out the clock. We know that you're trying to purposely not finish this. We know what your legacy is going to be and what you wanted to be. You want the legacy to be, look at this great piece of American literature that never got finished. Oh, what could have been? But we know deep down inside, you fraud, that you don't know how to finish this. Your idea was probably the garbage ass way that the show ended, and you realize that's awful and everyone hated it, and now you're in panic mode because now you have nothing. I see right through your facade, George R.R. Martin. Come up with something. Put something on the page. Start writing. I don't care anything at this point.
What if his last day he leaves like a clue, right? It's like a little capsule and he buried the finished transcript. Would you forgive him? Like on his last day, he delivers his vision?
No, because if it's bad, I want him alive so that we can lambast him. I need him alive for this, Sancho. I need him alive so we can tell him how bad the ending of his book is. That's what I need. And that's what I'm saying. He's counting out the days so that he doesn't have to deal with that.
He's counting down the days like John Cena. John Cena's the
19
same way.
days.
Counting his appearances. John Cena's just running out the clock, brother, just waiting for his last appearance contracted so he can take his ball and go back to Hollywood. Boo, you fraud. John Cena sucks.
You suck. Take a good look. I'm starting to quote that, by the way, around my house. Just the John Cena take a good look.
The last champion. Like, oh God.
It's time for intimacy time. I take off my clothes.
Oh, no.
Take a good look.
No, I don't want to picture this. This is not what I want. No.
That's all you're gonna picture now. Take a good look, Sancho.
Why? Don't say that. Don't say my name, please.
Speaking of John Cena, great transition here. John Cena takes the pin at Money in the Bank with the return of R-Truth. You're not one of these flat earthers that thinks that it's a work, right? You're not one of those. You know,
at least I want half credit from you, sir, that I predicted that R-Truth would come back.
I want to clarify. I went back and listened to it. You didn't predict. You said, what if? What ifs lead a long way. That's not the same thing. I'll give you like 5%. You're not going to get 10% out of me. You're not going to get half credits here because you just said like, what if? What if you could what if anything and throw enough things at the wall, because what if gives you the ability to be able to back out and say, if you were wrong, say, I was just throwing stuff out there. What if? No, if you want credit, Sancho, look at me, take a good look. If you want full credit for anything, you need to make the prediction. You can't just pussyfoot around it. What if this happens? And then take credit if it actually does happen. You want credit here on Wrestling is Cool? You want credit for the patrons? You need to say that's your prediction, not just what if.
But you go, you're so delusional. That's what you said right after. You're so delusional, you go wrong.
Well, here we are. Okay, I will say this for the people that are like arguing about was it a work, not a work. Here's what I ultimately ended up saying. I definitely do not think I know it's just not a work. It just doesn't make sense for it to have been a work, for him to finish his program with John Cena, not mention it at all on Friday Night SmackDown, get squashed by JC Mateo. There was no clear idea that they were going to continue that. But I believe we got worked by John Cena on the Friday. By then, clearly it was known. And I think that people were like, whoa, I can't believe that Cena brought up and acknowledged the truth chance. I don't think it was Cena's amazing ability to improv. I think Cena was expecting the "We Want Truth" chants, had that memorized, ready, cocked, and loaded. That's where I think we were worked. To believe that John Cena was willing to pluck an apple from the forbidden fruit and go against TKO and acknowledge the truth chants. That's where we were worked. But before that, no way. I genuinely think it's a little bit insulting that people would go around saying that it's a work to see. This is what WWE does all along. Should have let Papa H cook. Like, why are people so insistent on giving TKO and WWE credit for something dumb that they did? You know, you don't congratulate a dog for taking a crap on your carpet and then cleaning it up. You still took a crap on the carpet. You don't congratulate a bank robber who robbed the bank and then brings the money back. They still screwed up. This isn't out of the goodness of their heart, by the way, that they brought truth back. It's they heard us and saw money. Money is what drives things. They saw the ability to monetize our desire to bring truth back after they made a terrible decision. Don't give WWE credit for this. Like have a little bit of self-respect and recognize that it was the fans. Like, it was you that made this happen. We were worked by Cena, but before this, TKO made a brutal, terrible decision that I just don't want fans to praise WWE for, simply because they fixed their own error. That's it. That's all I want to say about that.
I think the biggest thing that I did not enjoy from this whole conversation, from worked or not work and things like that, is that it is something that probably was never really discussed back in the day because the internet didn't exist. Wrestlers couldn't talk to fans. It was all kayfabe protected. And the only thing I'm going to add to the conversation is that I'm choosing to believe in kayfabe, the ever fleeting kayfabe magic of what was happening, and that the WWE was able to take a situation that was so bad in R-Truth's release and the contract lapsing into something magical, right? R-Truth actually coming back. I thought they did a great job in that aspect. Like, I would give him credit for the actual story in terms of
agreed
R-Truth, believing in John Cena, not really manipulating, but R-Truth saving him from Randy Orton, to the AA moment at the press conference. And then all of a sudden R-Truth is saying, hey, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to make you see who you really are. That's not who you are. That moment at Saturday Night Main Event, right? That was cool. And then to the moment where R-Truth coming back, I think as a story, fantastic. That was really cool how they were able to do that. It just feels to me like all of that is lost with this conversation of the worked or not working, things like that. And I think when you get back to it, I think that WWE is really strong at pivoting. And I said that in the podcast. I said, it's pro wrestling, baby. Anything can change in a minute at the midnight hour. It happens all the time. So now that we're here with R-Truth as Ron, something that YouTube doesn't
Unalivings.
RK, I guess Ron K. But essentially, Ron now has a great launch point. Like, I've never ever felt so empowered by what he had to say. And his promo on Monday night, I love the way they produce it. Once again, I talked about how WWE knows how to produce things really well. A seemingly normal, hey, we're talking about to go to commercial between White Barrett and Michael Cole.
In the big moment beforehand, you're like, oh, this is
Bayley,
classic, right? The Bayley return, Michael Cole in commentary, commercial. But no, yeah, they turned it on its head. Go on.
Out of nowhere, out comes R-Truth, and we know instantly who he is because he's wearing the same get-up, and cuts a promo, which always feels different when you cut a promo from the commentary table. It's like, it just feels different. It's like a power point of positioning to cut a promo from, because it's like, ooh, it's not in the ring, it's more taboo. So he cuts this great promo, how your voices were heard, don't let anyone tell you were quiet, and it feels more like crossing the line a little bit, going up against TKO, right? Your voices are heard, you did this, you brought me back. And then I like the idea of him going like, well, R-Truth is gone. And I love his new, like, you want the whole, the what is it? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
I love how that's become a catchphrase. And
that was a TNA Ron Killings catchphrase.
Yeah. Perfect. I love that it's brought back. And I love that there's a layer of substance found that a Santino could have probably found, right? I'm a comedic gimmick, but no, put some respect on my name. I'm not a gimmick. I'm not a sideshow. I'm Ron.
Unalive.
So yes, so it's I don't know how WWE is going to navigate that SEO. That's going to be really tough to navigate those SEOs on that one. But regardless of all that, I think it's really cool that they added a new player into the game, a new character that is a powerful character, and that could probably go back into some really cool wrestling that R-Truth seemingly fell into the John Cena copycat, right? The 5 moves of doom and all that kind of stuff. But we know our Ron has a lot more in the tank, and he could do a lot more because he proven it throughout his entire resume. But unbelievable.
Crazy.
What a great Monday Night Raw. Unbelievable.
Just a crazy sequence of events. Like I want to clarify that, like, I can praise WWE for creating something good moving forward, but I will not praise WWE for pretending like this was their plan all along. It clearly.
Do you enjoy the show?
It's part of the show.
Part of the show, huh?
It's all part of the show. Part of the show, huh? Part of the show. Just awesome having R-Truth back, him cutting his hair. Like, it just felt like I was seeing somebody shed skin.
Yeah,
somebody
like
becoming a new character in front of our very eyes. It was it was really, really impactful, like emotionally impactful, hearing R-Truth kind of like transition from R-Truth to Ron Killings, talking to the fans, talking about the importance of the fans and R-Truth being back, and not just bringing R-Truth back, but bringing him back. When that him ended up being Ron Killings. Brilliant move, by the way. Before the news of it came out, in one of my hot takes videos, somebody had mentioned how it was now being listed as R-Truth in the item shop in WWE shop. And one of the things I said, I was like, I hope that was part of the negotiations, because I'm sure R-Truth at the end of the day clearly sees his days numbered. If they were willing to get rid of him then, they're probably willing to get rid of him anytime soon again. So I would negotiate to get the name that I own to start getting ready for post WWE life, so that I can bring notoriety and fame to the name Ron Killings in WWE, so that when I do conventions, when I go to other shows, I can continue to use the name Ron Killings. And that's exactly what happened here. And I love that. I think that's such a brilliant move, to have them change your name to something, to an intellectual property that you own, when you know clearly they're trying to oust you out the door. Like, it's so great that he's back, but I'd still be scared if I'm R-Truth, that at any moment they've already made the call to get rid of me. The second that my popularity starts to wane down, they might start to usher me out again. So let me start building the blocks for my post WWE life, and asking to have his name changed to Ron Killings. Perfection. I really think it's just such a baller move, like genuinely a baller move.
It reminds me of the time where I couldn't put in my 2 weeks at Apple, because if I put in my 2 weeks, I would have been out.
Mhm.
But I needed those 2 weeks of money for me to move to LA.
Dude, did I ever tell you my last job, like before I became a content creator? I was like, man, I'm gonna give them 2 months notice so that they have to pay me for 2 months while I keep doing my work, and by like doing it really half-assed while still like trying to build the social media stuff. I wanted to give myself a cushion, and they're like, no, you're done. You don't get to just coast for 2 months. I was like,
You blew it. You blew it. You should have just silent quitting, man.
Oh, I had already silent quit by then.
Oh.
Yeah, dude, by that point, I'd already been like, I would work for like 3 hours. And then the rest of the 8 hours, I'd be making videos, brainstorming. Like I was already just so fully invested here. I was doing the absolute bare minimum at my last corporate job by the time that I was already pretty sure I was going to be making the leap to this.
What's the most important thing to do as a content creator? Is the brainstorm? I think the brainstorming is probably the least undervalued. You know what I mean? Like the most undervalued thing is what
most undervalued. Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah. Like, more often than not, like I have like a notebook of like 30 videos that I want to do, topics that I want to cover. If there aren't topical things that I can talk about in the WWE in the moment, right? It's just like, oh, nothing interesting happened. Let me go to my notebook and see what topics I've carved out that could make for interesting videos, just so that I can kind of keep the machine rolling until that eventual next big thing happens that can be a talking point. I really think that brainstorming is really valuable in terms of keeping you on pace for whatever metrics you're trying to hit in terms of being like a reliable YouTuber. Like I'm going to post 3 times a day. Like me, if you're psycho, 7 days a week, every single day, just having those things to fill in the gaps is really, really important.
Do you feel that the WWE, this is an interesting thought that I have, and I'm going to shift a little bit, like slightly from Ron a little bit. Do you think that TKO is slowly molding itself as a heel?
It wouldn't be the first time that the powers that be have been a heel in WWE.
Right,
it is weird to think of a parent company being heels. And I say this because it's bad business, because they're publicly traded. They're publicly traded, right? The name TKO, maybe to us wrestling fans, is like, boo, evil TKO. But there's literally billions of dollars of investment that they can't go around pretending to be Vince McMahon likes being bad people in the media, because that legitimately impacts billions of dollars of bottom line. So I'm going to say no. I think we are turning them into villains. To be fair, they're doing some pretty twirly mustache villainy stuff, but it's all stuff that is bottom line. It's all stuff that is for investors, which is why I don't think that they're ever going to have, a Vince McMahon like character that represents TKO. I think that's where the wall between reality and fiction is going to always be.
Yeah, because I felt like Dwayne Johnson was that TKO board member, chairman of the board. I thought they would lean into that. And I think what's interesting is, because you talked about the booking of John Cena, he's now become like a TKO like, and I thought they were going to do their best, and clearly they are trying to put the flack on John Cena. Like John Cena's promo before CM Punk came out on Monday Night Raw is an indication of that. Him saying like, oh, you wanted him back? You think you did something good, that you brought a gimmick, like a sideshow comedic character like R-Truth?
Your voice doesn't matter. And I love the line, like, how dare you use your voice to put a sideshow clown comedian in front of me when my dates are running out? Use your voice to give me competition. I was like, oh, damn, that was harsh. Yeah.
And then as soon as he said voice, I was like, the voice of the voiceless. Ooh, brother. How would you feel as someone that grew up in those days of seeing finally the other shoe off the foot fell? CM Punk, John Cena.
I almost cried. Seeing that because I've already been, like, I think I've told this story before. Like, I was one bad episode of Monday Night Raw from quitting WWE altogether in 2011 and just kind of like making the call, like, this isn't for me. This is not for me. Can you imagine
the timeline?
The timeline, bro.
No TikTok Santi.
You know what's fascinating though? The episode of Raw that saved wrestling for me, the pipe bomb episode, was a day after John Cena versus R-Truth at Capital Punishment. So we really are in this weird time capsule where we're right back to like that moment in time that where like I'm in the bookshelf in Interstellar and I'm almost seeing through the 7 dimensions into 2011 right now with R-Truth being in the main event, Punk and John Cena at it again. It's crazy. But I was one bad episode of Monday Night Raw from just dropping wrestling altogether, moving on to my lame, boring adult life and saying, this is clearly no longer for me. Then CM Punk came around, cut what I still think is the greatest promo in professional wrestling, the quote-unquote pipe bomb, which led to one of my favorite feuds in professional wrestling ever, one of my favorite angles, CM Punk running out with the World Championship at 11:59 when his contract ran out at Money in the Bank 2011, the summer of Punk. And then I saw the rise of one of my favorite characters in professional wrestling history in CM Punk being opposed to my favorite wrestler in John Cena. It was magical, like truly, genuinely magical, but it was like a beautiful sphere surrounded by a cloud of garbage in 2011 with how bad wrestling is at the time. So to now see this sphere of pure just awesomeness in John Cena and CM Punk once again, but being surrounded now by a healthy company that has great characters, that has great wrestling, that puts on great shows, maybe puts their foot in their mouth every once in a while from a PR sense, but trust me, we've got it good, folks. It was like a punch in the nose to remind me just how things have evolved and become so much better, while at the same time reminding me that at the end of the day, the biggest drug that you can feed somebody in professional wrestling, aside from the copium that Karrion Kross might actually appear on TV, is nostalgia. And we got it here. And playing the greatest hits of John Cena, I think it's the way to go. I think it would have been cool to have young guys trying to take out John Cena, trying to make a big name, but this is John Cena's retirement tour is a nostalgia trip. We just need to accept it as is. And there's no better nostalgia trip right now to take than CM Punk. I'm not opposed to them doing it in Saudi Arabia. I know that there's a lot of conversations about CM Punk's previous words about Saudi Arabia, but I will say it should have just been at Money in the Bank. Like if you were like you were a month off from making it like perfectly poetic and perfectly full circle here. I'm just happy that this is happening.
Still have R-Truth come in and still interfere.
Could have still done it.
That would have made CM Punk champ, but who knows, right?
Who knows?
Who knows how they would have been? Who knows? For me, as someone that didn't really have that experience, which thank you so much for sharing. I thought it was a great way to have like now we're really playing ball here. Now it feels real that John Cena's days are numbered in the WWE because we're gonna give you what you want, and that's CM Punk and John Cena. I had this thought. I'm gonna keep asking myself this question: was it worth turning John Cena heel? Because I think it's gonna be important to ask yourself that question as time goes on, because it changes every day. The answer. When John Cena turned heel, it gave himself so many faces to fight that are much more interesting matches, right? The Cody Rhodes, the Randy Ortons, the CM Punks, the Sami Zayns. There's so much, even LA Knight. There's so many opportunities for him to have those matches. If he would have stayed face, who is the heels he would have gone against? Not many.
Not many. Seth would have been the biggest one.
Seth, probably, but Seth still was a tweener at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Drew McIntyre, maybe a Jacob Fatu, a Solo Sikoa, right? Those were his players that he had the ability to play off of, but not as vast as the great baby faces that you had at that time, still today. So I asked myself, John Cena now as a heel going up against CM Punk as a face is quite interesting because CM Punk goes, it's funny how time works. Here I am, defending you think I'm defending the Fed, but I'm not. I'm defending what that means to me. That belt is it's the belt of the people. I am the voice of the people, voice of the voiceless, and some great stuff. And I like that they gave John Cena something to say back to CM Punk. I was just hoping, like, please don't just get out of the ring like you did with Cody Rhodes, because that totally really slowed down that jumpstart of that feud with Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Now he had words to say to CM Punk, and I love the things that he said, and I love that he challenged him at Night of Champions to see how much you really want this, brother. Were you willing to go up against your own words to come chase me? like kind of like the Joker, like ha ha ha, come and get me, Batman. You have to do what you never said you'd do. So I love it. I think it's going to be great. I think you could tell that CM Punk is when CM Punk is really invested in something, he's going to pull out some really cool stuff. And I'm hoping they toe the line. And I like that he said things that we were hoping someone would call him out on. Like, say, this isn't you. You're wrong. First off, he said right at the gate, you're wrong for doing this. This is the wrong way of doing this, John Cena. And you're sold your soul to the final boss. So many great things that we're hoping Cody would have done. CM Punk has done. And it's interesting, like we always ask, who's the person that's going to bring John Cena to the light? And it's CM Punk. Straight edge that brings him back.
So that answer, I think that maybe answers the question that I had for you, because when John Cena said, if you want this, you're going to have to follow me to Saudi Arabia. Do you think that was alluding to CM Punk's previous objections to the Saudi deal, which, to clarify, he made when he wasn't the WWE employee? And people are calling it out, like, in not surprised ultimately, because he had some really, really harsh words to say about The Miz regarding that.
Right. I think it definitely sets the stage that it's the character CM Punk making this choice that he is going to go to Saudi to stop John Cena, right? It gives him a reason, right? It's not the professional wrestler behind the scenes working an event. It's CM Punk, the wrestler. It's a hard it's hard for me to explain why it quote unquote softens the blow of him making this decision, because he has to save wrestling and he has to stop it. And if like any evil character or any villain, they're always going to pick the venue that makes sense for him. And he picked Saudi Arabia. So the challenger could be uncomfortable. It happens throughout all in times of superheroes and villains. The difference is that CM Punk is so close to the vest where his character and the pro wrestler are one and the same. But I liked it. It shows how evil and manipulative John Cena is.
Yeah,
and I think he's gonna bring that up. Like, oh, you chose. What happened to you, CM Punk? Aren't you a man of your word? Didn't you say this? Didn't you say that? It just opens the field up for like more intense promos, and that's what we want. We fans think they want like clever promos. No, we want some dirt. We want some mud. We love Nikki Bella going, what about your man? And then Liv Morgan like, what about you? You're a single. Like, we're like, ooh, yeah, brother. You tell him about John Cena. Like, that's the stuff we love. You hate to admit it, but we love the Jerry Springer's type action. And that is the mud that we need for this feud, because it's going to get tiresome of like, you're wrong for doing this and this and that. No, I want to hear some like real business insider stuff like, John, you're a Hollywood guy. Like, well, you left to AEW and this and that. Like,
they got to bring that up, right? They got to bring that up. The
they have to.
CM Punk leaving. I know it's been done before by Seth Rollins, but I just feel like it's so much more impactful from a John Cena. I from like the guy that was the face of the company that CM Punk left. I want to know what that guy thought. Yes. And I hope we get that. I really, really hope that we get that.
And one of the things that I said in the quickly, just to jump back to LA Knight, you asked me about the whining video I made, which it wasn't whining. But I said that the thing that I want the WWE to do is give me the insight of what LA Knight feels about losing, right? And that's what I want. I want to see what the person behind the character feels about what's happening to them, because that adds that layer of truth that's missing, right? LA Knight's promos got so stale because he would be like, I'm going to win this time, and loses. Oh, I lost that last time, but I'm going to win this time, and loses. I'm going after the United States title. And, there's so much of that. When is you going to say comes to reality? So when that character faces so much obstacles and loss, what does that character think about that situation that they're in? So what does CM Punk think about having to go back to the WWE after he burned that bridge and now he's here? What character is going to call him out on that? The same with John Cena. What does this character think that he is now a heel because it's best for business? There's so many things that we want to know behind the scenes, and I don't want it done in a unreal Netflix documentary like, oh yeah, when I was working heel, I decided to be like, no, I don't want that, right? That's it takes the magic away from what I want.
Are you enjoying the show? It's all part of the show.
It's like a weird thing to say foreplay wise.
You hit her with the take a good look. Are you enjoying the show? This is all part of the show.
It's like
I'm gonna try that on Sarah.
Oh my God.
I try all the wrestling brain rods in the bedroom, brother.
All right.
All
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you don't use bloodline rules.
It's gonna be bloodline rules.
What does that mean?
The final boss.
Jesus.
Oh man. All right. Money in the Bank. Let's kind of quickly run that down. So we had Dominic Mysterio beating Octagon Jr.
We have full out reactions reviews on our respective YouTube channels. So if you want to hear long,
if you're on
thoughts,
Patreon or listening to this on free feeds, Patreon has about nearly 1 hour review using footage. So go check it out.
yes, from Santi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Money in the Bank. Where was I? Dominic Mysterio defeats Octagon Jr. I don't really have any thoughts on that. It's just, hey, let's showcase AAA, whatever. It should have been Mr. Iguana. We've been there. Mr. Iguana, he got screwed.
It's always about you, Octagon Jr. No, I think it's just more of like Triple H picked somebody and he thought Octagon Jr. was that guy, but clearly he picked the wrong guy.
Yeah, I think it was literally like a 33 to 30% chance. You just pick one of those guys and you just happen to pick the wrong one. You should have gone with Mr. Iguana. Oh my God. That iguana, that damn iguana. So beautiful. Becky Lynch defeats Lyra Valkyria. My thoughts on this was that it's the right choice. Because I'm selfish, because their matches have been fantastic. They have not had a single bad match, a single bad promo. Their promos just keep getting better and better. Their story keeps getting better and better. How good was Becky Lynch this episode of Monday Night Raw, where she's giving her delusional version of what happened? Lyra Valkyria angrily raised my arm and almost dislocated my shoulder. So then I politely asked her to put the belt around my waist, and she tried to kill me. So good. I loved her delusional perspective of how things went down. But I was selfish. I wanted Becky to win because I wanted that feud to keep going, and it needed to have Becky Lynch for it to keep going, to have more legs. And it's now led to the return of Bayley here. I think we could probably talk about that here. Bayley returning to Monday Night Raw after not appearing at WrestleMania 41. I'm assuming you probably also think Becky, Bayley, Lyra Evolution IC title?
Oh, give it to me, brother. You ever look at a menu at a restaurant, you go like, I'm getting that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You go, ooh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
And the waiter's like, would you like to, do you need water? Like, I'm ready to order.
Yeah,
and
literally.
They go, ooh.
You already saw it. Yeah, the chimichanga is right there. It's right there. Now, don't try and feed me anything else. It's right there. I already know what I want. Just book it. It's all part of the show. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
I like how Triple H responded to that because Batista forgot his lines and just kept screaming,
yeah.
Give me what I want. And then Triple H goes, You want it?
Yes, give it to me.
So yeah, dude, I think Evolution is shaping up to be a really cool program, and I think these three could put on a banger match. And then if anything is an indication of all the multi-man, multi-woman matches we've been getting lately, it's going to be awesome. And for me, I love that Becky won because Lyra needs to overcome. You can't give everything to Lyra, or then we're going to start disliking Lyra. It's the thing that all wrestling fans do. We gave the Creed brothers everything underneath the sun, and then we started to dislike the Creed brothers. So you can't give them everything. I still will say Motor City Machine Guns should have never got that title right out the gate.
Then we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We had Naomi win the Money in the Bank ladder match in what I'm just going to go ahead and say one of the most disappointing matches of the year. Not because I think it was like outright bad, that it was this awful, burning piece of garbage or anything like that. It's just that I looked at the talent that was out there on paper and I'm like, this could be the greatest women's Money in the Bank ladder match of all time.
Yep.
And I actually think it ranks rather low when I've seen all the other women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. In my review, I tried to justify, try and find the reasons why I said, it could have been a multitude of things. Stephanie Vaquer had 3 matches in 24 hours, which is insane. So we actually didn't get to see a lot of her, I guess kind of understandably so. 3 of the women in this match were recent NXT call-ups, and that's not to say that they're not talented, but they might not have the same chemistry level with the other women because they haven't been working with them for years, right? And then the other thing is that 4 of the 6 women, I believe, had never been in a Money in the Bank ladder match. So I think when you combine all of those things, I think this is what led to the match feeling really slow, not really having like very like memorable spots. And when they did try to do spots, Sancho, they took too long to set them up. It was like this weird way. And I had a conversation with my personal trainer about them because there were moments in the men's match where they were taking a while to set something up. Like, I'll give you the example of like Penta, like just sitting there waiting for El Grande Americano to do like the cool spot. But then I explained the difference. I think it's fair to wait for the spot to develop if the payoff is worth it. Like if the payoff is cool, okay, I'm willing to suspend disbelief that Penta just wouldn't grab the briefcase. I'll let it play out because the payoff of it was awesome. Unfortunately, with the women, I personally found that when they were spending all of this time to try and set up the double code reds on the ladders, it took too long. And then the payoff of it, I was like, that wasn't worth it. So then it falls flat. Then I started to notice how awkward the timings were. There was just not much to love from this match, aside from the result. I loved Naomi winning. I think that she's the right choice. We've been talking at length over the last couple of weeks how there is a spark maybe there that WWE might be able to flame, might be able to fan into a proper like forest fire here to turn Naomi into the heel of the WWE. And I think this is step 1, but there still needs to be more along the way. We need to see this heel persona develop as a maniacal Miss Money in the Bank that's constantly threatening, but not like doing fake cashes in or anything like that. Just like demonstrating her psychotic nature and how it fits the unpredictability of her character with the unpredictability of the Money in the Bank briefcase. I hope that they do that well. So my thoughts: match meh, winner fantastic.
I mean, she could definitely be a character that inflicts pain with that briefcase. Like, she could cash it whenever she wants, and she has ample opportunities to really win. But no, she'd rather inflict pain and fear. Like that
fear, yeah, that's what I like.
She loves the idea of like, ooh, I'd rather scare you with this, and she could beat someone down with it. I think that'd be sick, like a Joker crowbar type situation. Yeah, I think the thing for me about that match was it's hard to compare to the other year. I know people say comparison is the thief of joy, but when you have Io Sky and even Zoe Starks like putting on some of these crazy spots, and I think it was missing that kind of a workhorse like an Io Sky, missing like a Zoe Stark who is willing to put their bodies on the line. Not saying that these women are not, but you could tell that Naomi, there was some spots that they were not going to hurt themselves as much. And I understand that because it's one of those ladder matches are the most brutal matches. We've seen literally Dean Ambrose on Match Club take a nasty bump and like, yeah, I don't think he's right after that.
Yeah, like bro, like right down to the finish. Like go back and watch it. I pointed it out in the review. When Naomi sees Rhea and Alexa like at the top fighting for the briefcase, she goes to push it, but waits for Rhea and Alexa to climb like halfway down the ladder before she pushes it.
Right.
Things like that become really, really noticeable, especially when the match is so slow paced. Had it been fast paced, I don't think that I would have been noticing these things. One of the things that I pointed out in the review is I couldn't remember a moment where all 6 women were fighting together. There wasn't that, because you can create fake chaos that's safe, that's not dangerous, that's not putting people through ladders. You can create that chaos by having intertwining moments with all 6 competitors in at the same time. But I felt like more often than not, it was a singles match with 4 women resting around the ring. I was really disappointed by this match from an in-ring perspective.
The best spot I think was Roxy and Rhea Ripley. Like that was the best for me. Like that was a hard-hitting moment. Like I think Roxy did like a Hurricanrana on the ladder and Rhea. Anyway, actually their match on Monday night, the Fatal 4-Way for the Queen of the Ring qualifier, was better than the Bank.
Agreed. I agree.
Right. But yeah, overall, it just for me, I was holding on to last year's, to be honest with you, and how that finish was amazing with Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton were up there, and then Chelsea just takes that crazy bump onto that table on the outside. That to me was an impactful Money in the Bank. But what did you think about what was the next match after that? Well, they had the Dom match, I think, and then
the men's Money in the Bank.
So the men's Money in the Bank,
Bloodline rules in the bank is what that turned into.
Right. It felt interesting to me because you had Andrade, you had Penta, you had LA Knight, and they have good chemistry together. And then you had Seth Rollins, who's the clear and cut, stand above the rest, and Solo Sikoa. And that one felt like a story of 3 different halves, right? 3 different acts. And that's what I really liked about it. You had the mid card working at the beginning to get everyone interested in Grande Americano. Then you had the story of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Or let me go back a little bit. Seth Rollins realizing that he wasn't going to win, and then he brings out the Bronson and Braun security out there, and they do their thing. They cause chaos, and then out comes the Jacob Fatu with JC Mateo, and I'm like, ooh, that's just fun. We're gonna get more of that. But then out comes Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I thought Solo Sikoa did a great job of establishing himself as a unique character, and that was where the opposite is for you, right? All 6 of them, all 6 of them were together, right? All 6 of them did that thing, and all 6 of them picked up. So many good things that he did. And my favorite is when Jacob Fatu does his thing and Solo's climbing, and Solo's like going, it's like, what's going on?
I love Solo in that match, man.
It's so good. And he's like, Jacob, what are you doing? And then Jacob goes, I hate you. And then the crowd goes, Solo. And then he gets destroyed. Like he gets it's and I think what it is for the women, like there wasn't any clear like rhythm into a clear moment, like a tension build release. It was like the release wasn't as satisfying as what you're looking for versus the men's when they had those moments, tension build, and then the release of the moment and the exclamation point of Jacob Fatu's you're nogging Solo into that ladder, like oh right, and then Jacob leaves. So it had some clear moments, a lot of shenanigans like in game, but it was all story-driven based.
Yes.
The only thing that wasn't story-driven based until Monday Night Raw was LA Knight getting his hope spot and getting curb stomped and then just getting tossed aside. But you have to think about LA Knight was attacked earlier in the day or earlier in the week, attacked again, and now he's justified. So they kind of brought it all together. And I still think Seth Rollins doesn't need the Money in the Bank. But again, it's not about that. It's more about intimidation and fear and plotting. And that's why they gave it to him, because that's going to be his fuel. With LA Knight, it would have been more of a comical way to doing it. He has had a briefcase before cashing with Impact, right? He had the briefcase running around with it. So he's used to knowing what to do with it. But at the same time, it was clear as day it was going to be Seth Rollins, man. There was just no way. You can't introduce a new faction that has been given the keys to the kingdom and then have them lose at their biggest, it's like the playoffs for them, right? They have to win here. If they lose, then LA getting Luka Doncic and LeBron James on the same team, yeah, great moment, sure. It's great regular season, but they didn't win the playoffs. So
Dude, you're such a bitter Dallas fan. Oh wait, no, you're not. You're a Spurs fan.
You're a Spurs fan. I'm a Spurs fan. See the Spurs
I was about to
hat?
rip into you, man.
You see the Spurs colors on my Fiesta?
Yeah,
on my merch.
I see it.
You
You're
see where
safe.
this merch is? This merch is located.
Okay,
on
Sami Zayn. All right.
Frontier.
Do you see this? Do you see this right here? You want this hat?
I'm a wrestler just wearing my ring gear with my merch all the time. You know what I mean? But yeah, I thought it was the right choice. Honestly, Seth Rollins is the right choice. And more so, you said it, you kind of highlighted, but dude, now that Seth Rollins is the Money in the Bank, now you have CM Punk and John Cena. Oh, brother, if CM Punk were to beat John Cena, Night of Champions, burn it down, and out comes Seth Rollins with that again to screw over CM Punk.
Dude, that'd be crazy. But on the flip side, now Gunther just doesn't feel like he's in danger, right? Like it's not
street level. He's a street level thug now.
Yeah, before it was like, man, with Jey Uso running around and the thing, I'm like, oh, you're in danger, you know, to like Ralphie, like from The Simpsons here. But now it feels like it's very
it's CM
blinders
Punk
on going forward. You know, you're down a hallway and it's only CM Punk and John for Seth Rollins. The other path of the World Heavyweight Championship, I feel like that's been blocked.
Is this the same place?
Sure.
Hear me out, brother. What if my longtime Nostradamus prediction comes true? Where several years ago, maybe a year ago, I said Judgment Day is going to win Money in the Bank, and they're going to give the briefcase to The Rock.
What, you think Seth is going to give the briefcase to The Rock?
The diarrhea Dwayne.
I regret saying this is a safe place. I want you to leave.
Dude, I'm telling you, we should do a live show, call a safe place, where callers give their pitches to you and you listen to it and you have to stew with it and you respond to it live and then we interview them, a la Unalive Tony. You know, that'd be a fun little show that we have here. You know,
We're really afraid of that word today, huh?
Hey man, I don't want it at me, brother.
I don't want to. That's that demonetization smoke.
Get the demonetization, you know, like a demon. I don't want that on here, brother. You know what? Speaking of I don't want that. I when I wrapped up Royal Rumble in review, watching the 2025, guess who appeared that made me sad?
Who?
Braun Strowman, brother. I shed a tear, dude. One little tear for Braun Strowman. But hey, dude, Jacob's now a face. How about that?
That's huge. That's huge. Before we get to Jacob, like, let's wrap up Money in the Bank. We had
Jacob was part of that, so whatever.
Sure. The main event tag match. What'd you think? John Cena and Logan Paul. We already talked about the R-Truth angle. We don't have to really dive into that. Versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Third straight Money in the Bank that the WWE champion gets pinned. 2 years ago, Jey Uso pins Roman, gets his match at SummerSlam. Last year, Solo pins Cody Rhodes, gets his match at SummerSlam. This year, Cody Rhodes pins John Cena, and they're making Cody Rhodes go through King of the Ring to get to SummerSlam. Interesting.
Yeah. I'm going to say this right here, right now. I'm old school. King of the Ring should be one night, and you have to go through the gauntlet and win. That's what makes the King of the Ring special. That's what makes it awesome to see someone go through it, multiple matches, wrestling multiple people. None of this tournaments throughout the week. No. Give it to me in one night only. What was your question again?
What did you think of the match?
I think this was perfect because it felt like perfect in the sense that Logan Paul's back to what we want from Logan Paul. Logan Paul, the professional wrestler, not there yet. Logan Paul, the viral sensation wrestler, that's it. Wanted.
That's it, right?
That match was stale as bread, old bread, until Logan Paul did the drone spot. And from then on, we were in a whole new level, and he elevated that match. And that is the elements, and that is what Logan Paul brings to a match that no other wrestler does. And I liked it. And I was tuned out, and I was like, this is like a standard WWE tag match. I'm going to chill and wait for the hot tag because that's when business starts picking up. But then when Logan Paul did this moment in the superplex, and like it kind of snapped me out of the normalcy of what was happening.
Dude, that springboard moonsault through the table. Holy, dude, he almost overshot it. That's how far he went.
No, almost overshot it, and he did land on Jey Uso's knees. I don't know if that hurt him, but who knows? I don't want to get down in that yellow brick road there. But I think without Logan Paul, that match would have been oofers. Mate, and it would have not been a PLE worthy match. He makes things PLE worthy and more. And I know he puts his body on the line, and he probably lost a couple of days of his life on that move when he nailed it. But man, oh man, it kind of reminds me of Shane O'Mac, you know? All of a sudden, this match with Shane match is, and then Shane does the coast to coast, or Shane jumps off of something like, oh my God, we're in PLE territory, or Shane gets thrown off a glass pane 3 times by Kurt Angle. Oh my God, we're in iconic territory. And so I think that's what Logan Paul is, dude. He's a home run hitter. He's that guy you bring off the bench to hit a home run when you need it the most, and that match needed that home run, and he nailed it.
Yeah, man, the choice to go with 12 minutes of Jey Uso getting beaten up was a choice. I was like, oh man, this match is dragging, brother. But you're right. I felt like Logan Paul kind of carried the exciting moments and took us from exciting moment to exciting moment there in the final like 10-minute sequence of that match. I really think that Logan Paul was the MVP, and to say that he's the MVP of a match that included John Cena, Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso, like that's just crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I actually ended up really enjoying the match, but this is not a match that I would watch all the way through. I would skip to the last 10 minutes. I really would. I really don't think that there's much to really enjoy from seeing Jey Uso get worked as we wait to the hot tag. Skip to the hot tag. That's when the match, honestly, that's when it picks up. That's when it gets good.
Yeah, I feel like they've used the Jey Uso thing to set up the Gunther match. Like, let's show Jey Uso getting beaten down. So then you say, oh, it's because he got beaten down. But even then, it didn't feel like it was like a real beatdown. Like maybe have... Remember when Paul Heyman would get involved in matches? Like, have something of that aspect where this guy was just getting worked by illegal moves. Like, have a brass knuckles in the rib, like even something like that that's done off camera. Like that would have been cool.
Did you like when John Cena and Logan Paul were arguing as Jey Jey Uso is crawling, and as soon right before the hot tag, John Cena looks over, he goes, "Oh no!" It was so Nickelodeon. I died laughing.
It's so cheesy, dude. He's cheesy, but it grows on you. I think like John Cena is again. I said this that he's like John Cena the actor playing John Cena the wrestler. Like he's performing like he's in a biopic.
A biopic. All right, let's move on here. A couple of things that I think are worth talking a little bit more about. So we had Jacob Fatu turning his back on Solo. Solo, I hate you. It looks like he's in a path with Damian Priest, U.S. title, maybe Night of Champions could make sense. Is the path here Jacob versus Solo, SummerSlam, and beyond that? Are we talking about Jacob Fatu winning a world title sometime soon?
Yeah, but how? I mean, I think he would have to be a 2-belter, right?
Well,
if you really want to build up his strength and legacy, he's not dropping that United States title. And the only way they would have it is through a multi-man match, which is annoying, but you let him have 2 belts for a second, for a hot minute, man. He could carry it.
What about like does Jacob Fatu versus Gunther interest you?
But that's the problem. He's on SmackDown. It's the LA Knight problem. He can't go over.
Why not? You can. Who cares? And we're not in the era of drafting anymore. Just put somebody over. Just put him there.
I always said, Sancho, you're so dumb. That's when there's a brand split. That's why there's a brand split.
Well, I'm not saying like just appear. I'm saying like just move him over. Move him over. And that's just where he's at.
I'm trying to tell you, but he would have to leave the belt behind. Would it be, and you can't be like, I don't want this thing anymore. It sucks because it would bury it.
Well, Braun Breaker lost the belt and got moved into the main event program. Now it's in the way that you don't like it in the multi-man match. But
you're asking me what would make Jacob Fatu cool to be at the title, like to be a contender. Let him be the United States title, like an NXT champion challenging the champion. Like give it that. Like I'm all gas, no brakes. Let me win. Let me be a 2-belter, and let me rock that for a belt, and let me be a bad guy. Let me run the house for a little bit.
It's been done before. It's been done before. World champion and mid-card champion.
Give him the ball. Give him the ball and let it go. Like you telling me the United States title would benefit from him going against Damian, then losing to Damian? Let him hold on to that and let it be like a thing of like he's. Imagine him coming out, boom, boom, dun, 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 and has the 2 belts in his hand, dude. That'd be so sick, dude. And he has them like this, one stack like this, and then one on top, so it looks like it's a ski mask.
Ooh.
2 belts.
Ooh, what if he just covers his whole face with two titles and can't see anything? Just keeps running into things.
Looking like a knight.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I for me, I think. Jacob Fatu.
Stop it, dude! You have brain rotted yourself into saying it wrong.
He can't lose. He cannot lose going forward. Can't lose to JC Mateo. Can't lose to Solo Sikoa. If your shirt says all gas, no brakes, you better not crash anywhere, dude. You got to go all the way to the top. You know who it ends with? I think.
Tell me.
Roman Reigns. That's always what we want. Give me Roman. Give me Roman. Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu for the both titles. Why not? I don't care.
I mean,
the United States title doesn't mean anything right now for me. Okay, LA Knight lost it and it's dead to me.
All right. Well, there is something that LA Knight is in that might interest you. The King of the Ring tournament. King and Queen of the Ring tournaments are back, and they are rushing through this, brother, because they only had 3 weeks between announcing the thing and getting to the finals here.
Yeah, I'll give you the graphic real quick.
Yeah. So we have the King of the Ring tournament, and in the process, they spoiled that Asuka is back, that Randy Orton will be back. It's kind of lame that's how they decided to bring back Asuka. But we've got the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, and I wanted to ask you right now, do you have an idea or a thought of who could be our finalists?
All right. What do you want to start with, the women's or the men?
Let's start with the women. Queen of the Ring finals. Right. Who you got here?
Taking a look at it, we already know that Roxy has advanced. And on that same bracket, we have Cargill, Meechin, Nevin, and Jax Piper. And then on the other side, on the top right, we have Flair, Alexa, Chelsea, and Candice. And on the bottom right, Asuka, Stephanie Becker, and Raquel Rodriguez and Ivy Now. I don't know why they did their last names. You notice that?
I did see that.
Kind of weird. Anyway.
Stephanie Vacque. That's her. Stephanie Quaker Oats.
You're adorable. You're adorable, Nikki Bella. You can, but you can't touch. You can't dream it on the stars above.
Anyways, Queen of the Ring.
Okay, Queen of the Ring. I think Jade Cargill gets a big push, and I think Jade is going to be on one end. And then because she represents SmackDown, I think the other end is going to be, brother. Do they do Cargill and Asuka? I don't think so. I think I don't know how it's going to make sense because all the brands. But if you were going to ask me right now, it's Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, that's what I picked in my video. Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair. I did. I picked it, I picked it before they even showed the bracket. But I look at the bracket, and it's actually possible based on where they both are on complete polar opposite ends. I think they did it by design to allow two people of the same brand to get to the final, because I think that's the final they want. I think they want to push Jade Cargill. And I think they know that a good formula is have your new person beat Charlotte Flair. It's an easy way to get them over as the favorite in the match, and it's a good, you beat one of the standard bearers of the WWE in Charlotte Flair. I predicted in my video it's going to be Jade and Charlotte Flair, and after seeing this bracket, I'm more certain that it's going to be Jade and Charlotte Flair. Like I really am feeling it. For the men. Do you know who I picked?
No, I do not. You could take it, though.
Again, I made these picks before the bracket was shown, before I even knew they were in it. And now seeing the bracket, it is possible that this could be the final. Buddy, I've got Cody Rhodes against Sami Zayn. Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn in the final. And I'll tell you my reasoning here. Okay, I think that they're dead set on Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at SummerSlam. I think that's the path. I don't think that anyone, not even the return of Ron on Alivings is changing that. That is where Triple H wants to go. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. And I think that they want to do the most simple path there. Just have Cody win King of the Ring. I think that that's what they're going to do. But I think the grand design here, Sancho, is they want to break Saudi Arabia's heart by having Sami Zayn lose. And then bring it back to win the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Crush their hearts.
Rumbles in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, Rumbles in Saudi Arabia. Crush their hearts with the King of the Ring final. And then make their day by giving the Royal Rumble victory to their guy. That's a pretty standard WWE motif. It's a classic WWE tactic. Crush their hearts only to give them what they want later. Cody Rhodes crushed their hearts at WrestleMania 39 just to give them the moment at WrestleMania 40. I think that Sami Zayn makes it to the finals. He already won his first match. I think he makes it to the finals and he loses.
So who advances against Sami? On the bottom left, we have Randy Orton, LA Knight, Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes. Top right in Cody's bracket, you have Cody Rhodes, Damian Priest, Wepa, Andrade, Nakamura, and then on the bottom right, you have Sheamus, Rusev, and Bronson Reed. Who's the mystery guy?
Mystery Iguana. We already talked about this. Mr. Iguana.
The streets are predicting that since Gunther's champion, that it's going to be Ilya Dragunov working his way through and becoming King of the Ring and replaying the NXT hits. I don't know, because you lose Cody, right? That's the thing that's so tough about King of the Ring. And I always feel like sometimes when King of the Ring has a big mega main eventer, it's like, how are they going to lose? Now, the multi-man does introduce the possibility that Cody could lose.
He ain't losing to Priest, Andrade, and Nakamura. He ain't losing that. And then beyond that, it's singles matches. He ain't losing that, brother. Come on. He ain't losing that. What is he going to lose to Wepa?
Wepa. Someone said that there's a chant in my watch party. They should go for Damian Priest to go, "This is Wepa."
No, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
I would do Wepa. Anyway, I'm surprised Damian hasn't embraced the New York Knicks culture. You know, the bing bong, right? You know what I mean? Like, why not that? Like, dude, the Knicks in the playoffs. Why not embrace that Damian Priest like crazy excitement? You know what I mean? Instead we get undead Damian Priest. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
You want him running around going, "Wet pop, bing bong, hello." Is that what you want out of Damian?
Yes.
Oh man, dude. Wet pop, bing bong, hello. Shout out to Joe Biden. Dude, so many of the interviews with Knicks fans are just so funny.
What's up, baby? What would you say, Joe Biden? What's up, baby? Hey, yo, take me out to dinner. Oh my goodness, but yeah, dude. So, for me, I'm looking at it. This is all roads lead to Cody Rhodes.
I think so.
Yeah.
What do you think of Sammy though? What, like me pitching Sammy in the final here?
And then what happens? What happens after Rumble? Who does he go after? The heavyweight or undisputed?
Who cares? That's a problem for later. I'm just seeing that the Saudi picture matters for WWE. The overall picture matters.
Are you enjoying the pod?
It's all part of the pod. It's all part of the pod, y'all.
I don't know how far out you are, like months and months and almost a year ahead of the booking. I don't think the booking's that drawn out. I think it's week to week almost now.
It has to be with truth.
It has to be, right? So it's obviously that we got to get Cody back into the championship picture, and Cody doesn't take shortcuts. So Cody's going to take this, and I don't think does the Saudis want Sami Zayn in that. I've seen so many Saudi shows where Sami's not even in the show. He just comes out, right? Wasn't that one of the shows he wasn't in it? Wasn't on the card? Am I remembering that right?
Crown Jewel?
I'm thinking of Mustafa Ali, right? I think I'm getting mixed up with Mustafa Ali was talking about how he was invited, then he wasn't all of a sudden.
I don't remember. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember.
The point I'm trying to make is, what if I think it's Randy Orton, man? I think the Saudis love the bigger names. I think Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes will hit harder than Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes.
That is there. It is a possibility. It is on the board.
Clearly, it's not going to be LA Knight.
No way.
Because he's someone. Okay, clearly, like I'm telling you right now, LA Knight gets screwed over by Seth's people. They come in and invade that, and then you got Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. Who knows what happens there? I mean, maybe Kevin Owens. I doubt it, but you don't know. Something has to happen to Sami, and then Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Like, come on, like that's the meat, dude. That's the juice that sells tickets.
I think that something is going to happen in the second round match where Sami Zayn, whether on purpose or not on purpose, takes advantage of a situation.
Like Karrion
has been talking about, like how he took advantage of LA Knight being there. It could be Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton. Something happens to Randy that Sami doesn't notice, and Sami takes advantage of it to continue to build towards that particular storyline.
I'm on board. Anything with Karrion Kross, I'm on board. I have to go like yes.
You know what? What would be interesting though, if they do a replay of Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes at Bash in Berlin, but with Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes instead, where Kevin had the opportunity to take advantage of something but didn't, and Cody took advantage of it and won. Maybe something like this happens where Sami now isn't blind to it. He has to actually make the conscious decision to take advantage of it, but doesn't. And based on Cody's previous promo, next time that I have the chance to take advantage of that opportunity, I won't flinch. Maybe Cody doesn't flinch, and that's the reason why Cody wins. And Karrion once again gets in Sami's head.
He's like, yeah, you see, Sami? You are a bad guy.
Sami.
I mean, when I heard that, I was like, ooh, dude, my tweets get so much traction with Karrion Kross, like, because I'm a I'm carrying the flag for Karrion Kross, dude. It's still popping off. I tweeted the graphic and I wrote, the bottom right needs to be Karrion Kross, please. And I think Karrion Kross fans over 103 impressions, 103,000 impressions.
I was going to say that's pathetic.
I know,
103?
1.6K likes, 225 comments, 139 retweets. The people just want Karrion Kross a chance. That's all we want. We're not asking for him to win King of the Ring. No. I don't even think that's possible. I just want him to be on TV. Someone said Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry would be that. Someone said might be Goldberg. Again, if you want to follow me in sanchowest on X, someone says it's Finn as a demon. The funny way to spell Mr. Iguana was one of my favorite ones. Someone wrote Brock Lesnar. Someone says it's El Grande. If it's El Grande, I'm going to flip a lid. It's Dragunov. I want Cross so bad, but I think it's Iliad. King Karrion Kross is a nice ring to it. Nice, so nice. Not so nice on the initials. Great, funny. Ha 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 ha. But regardless, dude, people want Karrion. And he needs to wrestle sooner than later. And he needs to be off of commercials.
Yeah. That was a great segment between him and Sammy that was relegated to commercial break. That was odd.
I would have never got that nugget if I wasn't using VPN, because I realized I'm missing a lot of great stuff like that. And that right there, 80%, 90% of the audience wouldn't know unless you didn't say it happened, unless you didn't post your thing. You really think about it.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right here. So who are you leaning towards to be realistically? Do you want it to be Karrion? Do you think it'll be Karrion?
No.
Me neither.
No.
Me neither. I've been trying to be realistic with people. I'm like, because people are like, Karrion to win King of the Ring. I'm like, and I just have to tell people, like, what have you seen in the last several months that makes you even slightly believe that this is what WWE top brass wants? I'd be cool. It'd be interesting. But everything I'm seeing says the polar opposite. Yeah, I'm not going to set myself up for disappointment by thinking it's Karrion Kross, because I don't think it is.
I think like the biggest thing is like the WWE knows what they have and they're pulling the whole same movement. But it's interesting that the Karrion Kross movement went to the back of the line when the our unalivings stood up.
It went to commercial break, bro. It went to commercial break. That's where it went.
It is fascinating though. If you want to be a conspiracy theorist, is that did the WWE manufacture the Ron R-Truth saga to squander the fever pitch for Karrion Kross?
I don't think it's to that level. I really don't think it's to that level. I just don't think that Karrion Kross is part of their plan, and I'm nervous for him. I'm nervous for him because his contract's up soon.
He would have been gone, I think, at Mania. To be honest with you, he threw a Hail Mary, brother, and it connected. He nailed it.
Somebody paid attention. Somebody paid attention.
No, you know who did? We did. The fans did. They didn't even put his t-shirts in the arena. Like, isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
Like, what are you doing? He's the number one seller. His t-shirts not in the arena, and then you know what they do? You're not going to be in the arena either. What? What do you mean, brother?
I think I think there's a strong chance the mystery entrant is Ilya Dragunov. I will say the reports were initially saying that Ilya Dragunov was out till September, but maybe it's all a work. Are you enjoying the show? It's all part of the show. Maybe it is Ilya Dragunov. That'd be cool as hell. Some people are that you put on your conspiracy hat. I've got a crazier conspiracy for you. You ready for this? The crazier conspiracy is that tonight, the recording of this, Obafemi's going to lose his NXT championship to, what is his name? He just won LFG.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy's huge.
Yes. Yeah. So the conspiracy is Jasper Troy, this guy that actually makes Oba look small, that they're going to do the Braun Breaker treatment when they started NXT 2.0. Just put the belt on this guy right off the rip to push LFG, to make people go watch LFG season 2 that's already been greenlit. The conspiracy theory, Sancho, is that Obafemi is going to drop the title and be a call-up in this King of the Ring tournament and be the mystery guy.
Oh my God.
And based on how they just did Stephanie Vacher on NXT, where it's just like lost seemingly out of nowhere to somebody that no one ever thought had a chance of beating her, and then appearing immediately on the next episode of Monday Night Raw. I still think the chances are low, but I don't think they're zero anymore. I don't think it's zero that it's not Oba.
Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and Oba.
People were talking about making this the meat fest, making this the meat carnival. And man, adding Oba Femi, that is meat. That is meat right there.
Does he advance?
He'd have to. He'd have to.
And lose to Cody Rhodes?
He could. I don't think that there's anything damaging to losing to Cody Rhodes in any capacity.
No, Carmelo lost to Cody Rhodes.
I don't think that damaged Carmelo. I think everything afterwards damaged Carmelo. Maybe he beats Cody. Maybe John Cena interferes. He doesn't want Cody at SummerSlam. Well, they'd be stupid to want Oba. maybe the worst thing to have Oba. I'm just throwing that out into the ether. I'm pulling a U where I'm doing a fake prediction. What if?
No, you throw.
Thank you. That's it. You got to be. You got to.
Let me hear it.
Yeah, Oba Femi is going to drop the NXT title to Jasper Troy and be the mystery man. Boom.
All right. Done. That's a Stone Cold lock promo. Prediction.
That's a lock prediction. No what ifs here anymore, Sancho. I think you learned the hard way this week. You got to just say it, because had you said it, brother, I'd be kissing your feet. Had you said you're right, I wouldn't.
You would have moved
I would have moved the goalpost. No, I would have said, no. You should have said the return of Ron Killings. R-Truth didn't come back.
You didn't predict that he will cut his hair on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You got it all wrong. Somebody said on one of the Chris and Vliet podcast comments is that R-Truth should let go of the dreads. I was like, oh man, that's mean. And then he did it. So how do you feel, random commenter?
He made it happen.
Made it happen. You think he has I think he gets a mohawk. Something about R-Truth says mohawk. You know,
does he have enough hair for a mohawk?
He had enough hair for dreads.
Yep, which he cut off. This is an irrelevant point. For audio listeners, your audio didn't die. Sanchez just is emoting at me like Solo Sikoa.
I'm like a little cat. You know, a little cat.
He turned into Mr. Iguana when he got hit. Well, Sancho, I think that wraps it up. We can talk about Asuka. Asuka's back. Spoiled on the.
Yeah, they could have done the same thing with her, dude. Just being a question mark on the thing, like, ooh, who is it?
Should have been 100%. She should have been a question mark. I agree.
Before you leave, sir. Before you leave, we're not even near the 2-hour mark. Okay, so
our new heat order gets us to the 2-hour mark.
And enjoy Nikki Bella's presence, coming back to feud with who?
Stephanie McQuay.
Liv Morgan, dude. Oh, I'm in. Sign me up. Nikki Bella is a fine opponent for Liv Morgan to either build off of or to add.
I don't think it's going to be that, dude.
At Evolution, no.
I think
it's gonna be a mystery.
I think it's going to be Nikki and Rhea versus Raquel, who attacked Rhea in that Fatal 4-Way, and Liv Morgan. I think they're going to do a women's tag match.
To get like Nikki Bella back into the fold of it. You think this is Nikki Bella's only appearance here, or is she going to be here for the year? Is she full-timer now? Because she had a lot of heel energy. I know she was being nice to everybody, but
she's a heel though. That's the thing. She's a mean girl. That's her character. She's a mean girl. She should be a heel. But I don't think that she's going to have a singles match with Liv Morgan. Maybe somewhere down the line, but I'm willing to bet that it's a tag match based on how Rhea lost that Fatal 4-Way.
Remember, you could look, but you can't touch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dude, I wish I had the list of all the funny names that people came up with Stephanie McQuay. People are like, Stephanie what was it? It was like Stephanie 4 letters, 1 word, Quay.
It's a weird name, all right? She's rusty. She's so used to all the rules that John Cena had.
She's just so concerned about coasters that she's like, I forgot the R in Stephanie Bucker.
Remember at night, You must be dressed for dinner. You must respect the household. I need to find those rules. You could go ahead and start rap. Oh, can you do new heat order?
Yeah, we got to do
Cena
new heat order.
House rules. John Cena's house rules, particularly on the show Tony Bellas, were known for being strict and formal. He established rules like mandatory shoes for formal dinners and having distinct areas for men and women after dinner. There was also a rule about using coasters for drinks. However, he later relaxed these rules, opting for no rules with the Bella family. Cena had a weekly formal dinner, usually on Wednesdays, where guests were encouraged to wear shoes. After the formal dinner, women retreated to drawing room and the men went to the cigar room. Cena had a morning coffee tradition where everyone would gather together, and there was an evening fire as well.
Sounds all reasonable. What's wrong with that? seems reasonable to me.
John Cena, we haven't gone to his X account. Put effort into making common sense a common practice.
Dude, he had a tweet earlier than that I actually resonated with.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find
was it less than 1 month away? Hashtag Heads of State comes to Prime Video on July 2nd.
It was that one. No, it was to achieve an extraordinary result. You must choose what matters most and give it all the time it demands. I vibe with that one. That's why I've cut off all personal ties in life and just design myself to be a content farm for you all.
That's why you don't ever respond to my voicemails.
Your voicemails are anime. All of a sudden, you started quoting Scary Movie 1. But wait, there's more. And then, folks, he sent me a, but wait, there's more. Anime. He's now combining them.
I said, but wait. And
that's what it was. His voice messages. I saw one that was a minute long, and I was like, oh, maybe it's actually something important. It wasn't. It was just him mimicking Braun Strowman. You haven't sent a single important voice message. And yet I listened to them thinking that, oh, maybe it's important. Maybe it's business related. Maybe something happened on the Patreon. No, it's anime.
Yeah, keep you on your toes, Santi. It's like casual Friday. You know what I mean? You could wear whatever you want. Are you enjoying the pod?
It's all part of the pod.
All right, new heat order, folks. For those of you who don't know, it's a part of the show that a lot of people leave because they don't understand how fun it is. But then when we don't do it, people get upset.
That's true.
Fickle. The new heat order going into Money in the Bank actually is as follows. Number 10, where are you? Number 10, CM Punk. Number 9, Live Recure. Number 8, Becky Lynch. Number 7, Naomi. Number 6, Roxy. Number 5, Wyatt. 6. Number 4, Disaster Hounds. You remember who they were? Yeah. Number 3, Stephanie Becquet or Becquet. And number 2, Grande Americano. Number 1, R-Truth. Isn't it interesting? Look at us. R-Truthin. All right.
Yeah. Now he's not even on the board.
Not even on the board, dude. He is
because number 1 is Ron Unalivings. Dude, what happened to society that I don't know. He unalived this person. So, it's Ray William Johnson did that. He mastered the term unaliving.
Dude, I was doing a Star Wars show. I was doing a Star Wars showcase about the outfits. And one of them is the insignia of the Death Watch, right? And I didn't say that on TikTok. I go, this insignia, and I just called the rest of them. And they're like, why didn't you just say Death Watch? And I'm like, it's TikTok, you idiot. I can't say that.
Dude, TikTok is the biggest culprit of that. The biggest culprit of that.
TikTok doesn't even let you say Twitch. Doesn't even let you say YouTube.
I know.
They don't even you need to look at your camera while live or it will. I told you, I got so much traction on my TikTok lives while playing Fortnite going like this. Hey, TikTok. Hi. How you doing, TikTok? Hello.
Damn.
500 viewers. I kid you not. Just doing this. Hey, how's it going? Hey.
Wild. Put Ron Killings at number 1.
Ron Unalivings.
At number 1.
Number 1. All right, number 2. Seth Rollins or Naomi? You gotta give the Money in the Bank love.
Let's go with.
Or you want to go with John Cena or CM Punk?
I think I'm going Cena
Or
Punk.
Mr. Iguana.
Mr. Iguana's number 10. He's in here. Mr. Iguana has to be on this list. But I also don't want to I don't want to cram him down the fans' throats. Yeah, let's put him number 10. He's making a name for himself. I hope he's on NXT tonight. That'd be awesome.
I kind of want to put. Let's just start the bidding where Chad Gable goes. I think he's at 4.
I think so too. Just the weekend that he had was insane. Yeah, give me Chad Gable.
And then I kind of want to put the bidding for Vikingo at 9.
Okay, sure. There
we go. Now we got to fill in the blanks. We got the bread. Now we just got to find the meat.
I'd go Cena, Punk, Rollins.
Okay.
Cena, Punk, Rollins, Naomi. Like straight up like that.
Okay, so Cena, Punk together?
No.
Yeah, sure.
Do you want to put them together? We can. I don't mind.
Sure, I want to. Yeah, I would do that. Until they stand out. You know what I mean? Cena, Punk, Rollins, Naomi in a.
No, keep going.
I have Chad Gable at 4 and then Naomi at 5. Because we haven't seen what she's done yet with the Money in the Bank on.
True.
We're there yet.
We could go Becky Lynch. Come on, bro. The match was great. The promo was awesome.
If you give me LA Knight at 8,
I'll give you LA Knight at 8. I'll give you LA Knight. Okay.
Because that's big.
Huge.
LA Knight. And then who'd you say? Becky?
And I think we need Logan Paul in here. Fuck, Gunther J, bro.
I mean, all right, let's really think here. This is a jam-packed week, brother. Jam-packed. Right now, number 10, Mr. Iguana. Number 9, Vikingo. Number 8, LA Knight. 7, Empty. 6, Becky Lynch. 5, Naomi. 4, Chad Gable. 3, Rollins. 2, Cena Punk. 1, Ron Unlivings. I think Becky's off this list, brother.
I think Vikingo's off the list. 2. He had a great match. Yeah, he did. But I think he's off the list.
Okay.
The luchador everyone's talking about is Mr. Iguana. It's not Vikingo.
I would say LA Knight then goes down to 9.
Okay. All right, let's do that. We gotta have Gunther in here.
I think we could shift everything down and put Gunther at 3. Or are you not excited about him winning? Let's be real.
Well, we were pretty critical of it.
Yeah.
Do you feel but it's like a new world champion. It's a new world champion. I think we got to have it high this week. It hasn't happened in 4 years on a free episode.
Okay, hold on. I got this. So Rollins, Gunther, Chad, Jey Uso, Naomi, Becky, LA Knight, Mr. Iguana.
Are we missing anything? Bailey still needs a little bit more time. Her returning. I prefer Becky Lynch over Bailey. I feel like Becky Lynch right now is just doing such great work.
Right. Okay. So Gunther, Rollins, Gunther, Chad, Naomi, Becky. Oh, Jey Uso.
Oh, we're missing Logan Paul.
You have Mr. Iguana, dude.
Okay, so Mr. Iguana over Logan.
Yeah. Who do you want to see right now in a match?
Mr. Iguana.
We have Raw. Now here's your list here. Bear with me here. The graphics had to be updated. 10, Mr. Iguana. 9, LA Knight. 8, Becky Lynch. 7, Naomi. 6, Jey Uso. 5, Chad. 4, Gunther. 3, Rollins. 2, CM Punk. 1, Ron Unlivings. Not bad.
It was a tough list to make this week.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. A lot going on in the world of the WWE. Woo! Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the episode. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Reminder that our $15 patrons are the producers of the show. We will find time to do multiple movie nights. We've had some scheduling snafus, but we will make it work. Special thank you goes out to Our Truth Deserves Better. We want our truth. It's because of you, man. You brought our truth back. You did it. First patron, I Crazy Dude says, W Santi's 2.5 incher. Also, I hate Abby. Ace1151. Acknowledge the real IWC leader, Sancho. Aiden S. Alex Regal. Alex. Alfie the Chosen One. All hail Dirty Dom. Alan the Teflon Don. Amato. I will oil up you. I will oil up if you do, Santi Beltre, American Nightmare, Cody Lander, Andrew S., Antonio Arjona, Antony, Arbach, Arrogance, Ashley, Asperlitz, Ozzy Kingslayer, Austin Hogland, Authentic Chocolate, Bailey Saunders, Bay Pluto, B Hostile, Bluefish, Bobby, coming back, King of the Hill, Brady Keaton, Brandon Richards, Braun and Bronson, new tag team name is WMD, Brian Flores, 362, Bryce Bird, Caleb Parker, Caleb Williams, Cameron Warren, Cameron Talks WWE, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, Cena, Cody Double Turn at Mania, Chase Rose, Chimchar Collectibles, Chris Butner, Lucas, Chris Estes, Christian Billick, Clay, CM Drunk, Colby Mayo, Colin Roach, Cookie for Sale, Cool Whip Tim, Corey King, Kueller Hair, Sci-Fi, Dalton Dunbar, Danny Lamb, Danny Gunk, Dar, David Nelson, Deck Girl, Derek Barnhart, Devin Geertz, Digi, D. Lopez, Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, Drake Hughley, Dumsky, Dylan Ariola, Sean, Edger Nation, Eduardo Avila, El Jochi, Eric Crosby, Eric Ruiz Romero, Aaron Thorne, Isaj Gunner versus Oldberg Dream Match, Fishing with Papa J, Fletcher Walpole, FMF. For his birthday, Santi got a Dirty Dom body pillow. Forever Wrestling, Fugnux, Gamerscape, Gilbert Deans, Goat Man of Cheese, Goose Lesnar, GXA Man, Hartfeld, Heath Robertson, Henry Ramone, Hay Shakes, Hoodie Cam, I'm Rick James Bitch, Ian McNugget, I'm Braun Strowman, Isaiah Rodriguez, it's Mista, it's Astro Kid, Ivan Martinez, Jag Ghibli, Jag Harris, Jack Parker, Jackson, Jacob Mueller, Jacob Pena, Jacob Saffel, Jaden Solomon Jones, Jake Shavoya, Jacob Kufis, James Brian Balago, Jason De Dios, Jason Vane, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, Javion McDuffie, Jay Angel, JC Worley, Gene Carlos Capellan, Jeremiah Findley, Jeremiah Kelly, Jahihi Ahihi, JJ J-Man, Joe Velez, Joe Romig, Johnny Owens, Jordan Lynch, Josby, Joseph Bryan, Joshua Tipton, Juan Stroman, Juicy J153, Juliana Sarfi, Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caleb Martin, Kevin Bega, Kevin Davis, Kayon P, Kuwaiti Rig Boogs, Kyrie Lawrence, Kyle P, FT Productions, LA Glaze all over my body. Let's Go Sancho, Santi Sucks, Liam, Life of Brian, Lil Shifu, Luke Parker, Manly Man, Mark, Marnie YCSM, Matthew Dollar, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mossy, McQueen X, Mackay, Meredith Lee, Michael Jackson, Michael Purnell, Michael Paz, Michael III, Michael Vera, Miguel Paredes, Mikey Rada, Mitchell X, Muhammad Al-Banai, the homie, Mr. Iguana Stockholder, Smart. My dad left to get a Finn Balor singles push. Nathan Tully, Nicholas Kyle, Nighthawk, Nina Uray, NyQuil Pad, Noah Booth, Noah Burden, Obi Nobi, Obion 0012, Oil Up Now, Santi, Oliver Hammonds, Osama Awad, Parker Moore, Pat R, Pat McMark, Pig Nuts, Pimcoff, Frody, Prince Vegeta, Proceed with Caution, Puke 1904, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Randy Cooper, Rawest of All Daddies, Reacher, Reaper God, Reese, Ricardo Ramirez, Rick Marr, 1R, Ricky Dutcher, RJ Don, Robert Allen, Robert Holder, Robert Rogers, Royce Ruffo, Ruben Sanchez, Riley, Sam Dukes, Sanchi Zest, Sancho's opinion over Santi's opinion, Sancho's app, and Santi West in an alternate universe. Santi is our 17-time pod champion. Santi lives in Canada. Sauce God, Saudi Rig Bugs, Savage Bay, Screamo Scott, Semba, Seymour Butts, Shaggy WWE, Shane, Shitstain Nakamura, Sir Alberton, Slime Manny, Slowtoke Rodriguez, Stephanie Del Rey, Stephanie Vacker lookalike contest in my bedroom, Super Malachi Galaxy, Taco Bullfish, Taman Bryant, Tanner Cloudis, the 17-time WWE Undisputed Dumbass or Nightmare, the Final Pebble, the Immortal Snail Hogan, I'm coming for you, Santi, the Vanilla Joe Rilla, Thomas Wright, Timmy Fitzmaurice, Toasty, Tobias Burnett, Tom Lehman, Trent Head, Trevor Harder, Two Slapped Cupid, Tycho, Tyler Free, Tyler Logan, Tyler McGarry, V Charles, Vegan Penguin, Venom, Viva Dom Raza, Juan Pablo III, Whaler, What's Up? Clearly not TKO because that's what because they don't want to be cool. White Mexican, William Newton, Xavier D. Lewis, Javier Izquierdo, Zach Mira, Deadshot, you stupid, my reebs, Zach Griffin, Zach Hewitt, Zach Butcher, Zay2K, Zeke Love, Zergzito, and Lord BBNJ. Thank you all for supporting the Wrestling is Cool podcast the way that you do. If you just watched on free feeds, that's cool too. Thank you for your time. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Be wonderful, amazing people. Goodbye, everybody.